Israel launches major West Bank operation as minister calls for Gaza-style tactics. Israel has launched a large-scale military operation in the West Bank, with airstrikes and raids targeting multiple areas early Wednesday. The Israel Defense Forces, IDF, announced that the operation, involving both military and security forces, focused on the northern regions of Jenin and Tulkarem, and has resulted in the deaths of at least 9 Palestinians. Israeli Foreign Minister Israel Katz stated that the operation was aimed at dismantling Islamic Iranian terrorist infrastructure, accusing Iran of attempting to establish an eastern front against Israel. Katz emphasized the need to address the threat in the West Bank with the same intensity as operations in Gaza, including temporary evacuations of Palestinian residents if necessary. He declared this effort a war for all terms and purposes that Israel must win. The operation is part of Israel's broader escalation of military activities in the West Bank, which has seen increasing violence since the conflict with Hamas in Gaza intensified following the October 7 attack on southern Israel. The IDF spokesperson, Lieutenant Colonel Nadav Shoshani, explained that Israel has observed a systematic effort by Iran to smuggle weapons and explosives into the West Bank, noting that over 150 shooting and explosive attacks have originated from the Jenin and Tulkarem areas in the past year. The Palestinian Authority's foreign ministry condemned the Israeli actions, labeling them as violations and crimes, particularly in light of the ongoing conflict in Gaza. The ministry criticized the military operation in the northern West Bank as part of an overarching strategy that endangers civilians. The Israeli offensive appears to be extensive, involving drones, bulldozers, military vehicles, and elite forces. Footage from the operation shows bulldozers tearing up streets in Tulkarem and moving through Jenin. The IDF released additional footage showing a strike on a militant operations room in the Nur Shams refugee camp near Tulkarem. Palestinian fatalities were reported in Tubas and Jenin, with some deaths attributed to drone strikes on vehicles outside Jenin. The Palestinian Red Crescent Society, PRCS, reported that one person was critically injured in the drone strike. The Palestinian Ministry of Health raised alarms about the impact of the Israeli operation on medical facilities. The ministry reported that Israeli forces have blocked roads leading to hospitals in Jenin, besieged several medical centers, and obstructed ambulance movement, putting the lives of patients and medical staff at risk. The Islamic Jihad militant group condemned the Israeli military's comprehensive aggression in the West Bank, calling it an open and undeclared war. The group's military wing, Al-Quds Brigades, claimed to have shot down an Israeli drone near Jenin and stated that its fighters were engaging Israeli forces with heavy gunfire. Meanwhile, Hamas called for a general mobilization against Israeli forces and settlers across the occupied territories. The group accused the Israeli military of deliberately destroying infrastructure through extensive use of military forces, aerial bombardments, and other aggressive tactics. Israel has occupied the West Bank since capturing the territory from Jordan in 1967. Despite international condemnation and peace agreements signed in the 1990s, Israel has continued to expand Jewish settlements in the area, which are considered illegal under international law. Since the escalation of violence on October 7, the Palestinian Health Ministry reports that 652 Palestinians, including 150 children, have been killed in the West Bank and East Jerusalem, with over 5,400 others injured. In addition to military raids, Palestinian towns have also been subjected to frequent attacks by armed Jewish settlers. In July, the International Court of Justice, ICJ, the UN's highest court, issued an advisory opinion declaring Israel's occupation of Palestinian territories illegal, calling for an end to its unlawful presence as soon as possible.